Welcome, history buffs and hilarity enthusiasts, to a ride through the strangest, silliest, and downright absurd blips on the radar of humanity's timeline. Forget all the serious stuff you learned in school. Today is all about those moments that leave you scratching your head and saying, "Wait, that actually happened?" So buckle up, because we're diving into 20 of the most bizarre historical moments ever, filled with quirky characters, weird ideas, and unfortunate disasters we can only laugh about now. You'd think one of the greatest military minds in history wouldn't lose a fight to rabbits. But alas, Napoleon Bonaparte literally orchestrated his own downfall. After a successful campaign, he decided to celebrate with a rabbit hunt. Logical, right? However, when the bunnies were released, instead of running away, they attacked him. Turns out, the event organizers didn't bring wild rabbits, but tame ones, who mistook Napoleon for the guy with the snacks. He ran for his life, probably rethinking his conquest plans. What's worse than losing a war? Accidentally starting one with yourself. That's exactly what King George III of England managed to do when signing a military document with a little too much enthusiasm. He mistakenly declared war on the royal colony of Hanover, which he himself ruled. Talk about shooting yourself in the foot. Let's fast forward to Australia in 1932, when the military went head-to-head with giant flightless birds. That's right, emus. Farmers complained these big feathered menaces were destroying crops, so the army rolled in with machine guns. But despite having weapons, the humans lost. Why? Because emus are fast and apparently bulletproof, or smarter than we thought. The Great Emu War ended with Australia surrendering to the birds. Can you imagine losing on that resume? Picture this. It's the summer of 1518 in Strasbourg, France. People are dancing in the streets, but not for fun. One woman suddenly starts dancing, then another and another, until dozens of people are stuck in an uncontrollable boogie marathon. They supposedly danced for days, with some collapsing from exhaustion. Science still doesn't know why this dancing plague happened, leaving us with the world's weirdest medieval flash mob mystery. In 1908, over Siberia, a massive explosion flattened 800 square miles of forest. For comparison, that's about the size of Tokyo. The culprit? An asteroid, or comically bad luck. To this day, scientists debate what caused the Tunguska event, but here's the kicker: it didn't leave a crater. Seriously, how do you flatten a forest asterisk without asterisk leaving a mark? Maybe Siberia has its own brand of weirdness. Let's admit it, humans have always been a little obsessed with flying. But in the early 20th century, one man decided strapping wings to a bicycle would do the job. Spoiler alert, it did not. What followed was a series of spectacular crashes, proving that gravity has zero patience for bad ideas. Imagine witnessing this and thinking, wow, this asterisk guy is our aviation pioneer? Ah, Boston, cradle of liberty, sports fanatics, and molasses? In 1919, a giant storage tank burst, releasing over 2 million gallons of sticky molasses into the streets. The result? A 25-foot-high wave of sugary disaster. Buildings were destroyed, people were trapped, and the entire city smelled like caramelized regret for weeks. Let's just say Boston has a very sweet chapter in its history, though everyone involved would disagree. War is no laughing matter, but some of the inventions it spawned make you wonder, why? Take WWU, for instance, when someone proposed training pigeons to guide missiles. Yes, live birds. The plan was simple: put a pigeon in the missile and have it peck at a target photo to steer it correctly. Shockingly, no one sat in those meetings and asked, but what happens if the bird panics or gets distracted by breadcrumbs? Needless to say, this never flew. Speaking of questionable decisions, let's talk about Roman Emperor Caligula. He was known for being a little off his rocker, so much so that he made his horse, Incitatus, a senator. That's right, this horse was living the good life, with a marble stall and its own staff. It's unclear if Caligula was trolling the Senate or genuinely thought his horse had political potential. Either way, Incitatus wasn't the worst senator Rome ever had. Apparently, old-timey Europe loved overthinking things. When animals misbehaved, they didn't just punish them, They put them on trial. Pigs, goats, chickens, it didn't matter. If an animal broke the law, they'd get a lawyer, a trial, and sometimes even a public execution. Imagine defending a rooster in court. Your Honor, my client clucked because he was startled, not because he's guilty of witchcraft. Here's one for dessert lovers. In the late 1800s, New York City banned eating ice cream cones on Sundays. Why? Because city officials thought it was too sinful and promoted laziness. That's right. Your relaxing Sunday treat was destroying society. Honestly, what could be more un-American than banning ice cream? How could releasing 1.5 million balloons into the sky possibly go wrong? Oh, Cleveland, let us count the ways. Balloon Fest 1986 started as a charity event, but quickly descended into chaos. The balloons clogged up the city's waterways, freaked out pilots, and added more cleanup headaches than joy. Turns out, a bright idea isn't so bright when it backfires with this much flair. Most of us know Albert Einstein as a genius. What you might not know is that after his death, a rogue pathologist stole his brain for, wait for it, science experiments. The brain then went on a decades-long road trip in a jar, from laboratories to car trunks. If Einstein's brain knew what was happening, it probably rolled its non-existent eyes and muttered, "Humans, what do you do with a whale carcass washed up on a beach?" If your answer involves *dynamite*, congratulations. You think like the city officials of Florence, Oregon in 1970. Their attempt to blast the whale into small, manageable pieces went spectacularly wrong, raining chunks of whale for miles around. Moral of the story? Explosives and whales do not mix. Back in olden times, people had fewer options for entertainment. So, when a con artist rolled into town claiming his goat could dance, folks lined up. What they didn't know was the goat's feet had been secretly dipped in hot tar, so it hopped around not from talent but sheer pain. It's a tragic story when you think about it, but it's also peak human silliness. On the lighter side of liquid disasters, there's the infamous beer pool mishap. Somewhere, we're looking at you, Europe, a mistake at a company party led to an industrial-sized pool filled with beer. What happened next? Chaos, obviously. No one swam in it responsibly. Honestly, who thought swimming in beer would end well? And with that, we've hit the end of our list. From rabbit ambushes to missile-guiding pigeons, history proves that the world we live in is anything but boring. It's messy, strange, and often laugh-out-loud funny. These moments may not show up on a history test, but they're far too delightful to be forgotten. So next time you find yourself in a weird situation, just remember, the people of the past were just as strange, if not stranger. And who knows, maybe the quirky stories of today will be the comedy of tomorrow's history books. Now go impress your friends with these bizarre facts, or at the very least, use them as a fun excuse to eat ice cream, on any day of the week. See you next time!